Hello and welcome to another Blue Box series from Gaatech.com. Well, I think you've all spotted what's on the desk, Runcam, so it's obviously something to do with the Runcam. So let's get the parts out of the box and see what we've got today. Okay, we've got two case parts. So let's just have a look at the case parts. This is the top plate. So you can see the quality of the print. Now you can see this is just as it's come off the printer. So this is printed in a material called ColorFab XT. It does give a little bit of stringing, and it does leave some little globules over the surface, but they just literally break off with your fingernail. But other than that, the finish is particularly good. So that is the top case. This is the bottom case. And we'll go through what all the holes are for. They're all there for a reason. Okay, so you get top and bottom case. You get some foam because the box is foam lined to give some cushioning to the camera. You've got a back door flap which stops the SD card from ejecting. You've got a semi-flexible sun shield, and you get some self-tapping screws, and basically that's it. So the kit, obviously, that there's gaps at the top, so when the Runcam is in, you can get to the buttons. You can see the LED on the top, and the heat sink is open to the atmosphere for cooling. On the bottom, you may be wondering what all the holes are for. I've given this quite a lot of thought into what this mount can be mounted on and how it can be attached to certain things. So let me find a pointer. These slots here are used if you want to put a Velcro strap or some cable ties through the mount before you assemble it, that you can fix it rigidly to your craft. You've got screw holes in the bottom where if you've got corresponding screw holes, or if you can drill your plate that the Runcam protection cage is going to go on, you can use bolts to go through there. And these slots here are to do with the ZMR 250. So we're all familiar with the ZMR 250, and this is my one stripped down. The slots allow you to hard mount this onto the top of the ZMR 250, because most racing people won't be using the vibration bobbins on the top. So the cutouts are there to allow the case to sit on the frame itself. The holes correspond with the screw holes. So it allows the mount to be obviously moved backwards and forwards to help you with your CFG. And as you can see here, there's a screw there, and if you had the pillar in this hole here, then the screw hole, the hole in the mount, allows the mount to slide up and down. The slots in there, as you can see, corresponds to the slots in the top of the ZMR. So you can use a cable tie if you wanted to. Before you put your Runcam in, you could just use a couple of cable ties coming up and down the mount. You would obviously put two in there, pull it on tight, and then that's rigidly fixed your bottom section to the ZMR frame. Obviously you could use, there's obviously a big surface area here. You can use double-sided sticky tape, you can use Velcro, hook and loop, etc, etc, 3Ms tape. So the options are down to you, but I think I've given you quite a good start for mounting. Now the other holes around the case are for you to tether the case to the frame. So the triangles here, here and here, here and here, allowing you to, say, you can put a very thin zip tie through or some nylon fishing wire and make a loop. Then obviously that's going to be on your ZMR. Then you can tie this loop onto your frame, so the mount is, if you're using Velcro, perhaps you would want to tether it. So this gives you an option to tether the Runcam case onto your craft. So there's both sides, there's triangles, and that's what's used to tether it to something. The other holes here are just for other things that are in the pipeline to allow a self-tapping screw to go in. And you can see, because the walls are 2mm, I believe, there's an extra lump on the side to make it 3mm to make sure the screw grips in nice and firm. And they're sized for these screws. Now these screws are 2.4mm. Don't try and put a 3mm self-tapper screw through, because it's likely that you'll split the plastic. If you need to put a 3mm screw through, you would have to drill out the hole slightly to allow a bigger diameter screw to fit in, otherwise you will start delaminating the plastic. And that goes for most 3D printed parts. If you put it under stress, which if you put a bigger screw in than the hole is made for, there's lots of stress, and you'll hear it start creaking and clicking, and the frame will split. So now the foam, you'll get a sheet of foam like this in the kit, rectangular size, 2mm, I think, yeah, 2mm foam. And I will produce a PDF for those that really need it, but I think it's going to be self-evident how you put the foam into the kit. Basically, you're going to cut 2 sections to go in the bottom, and then some strips to go around the side. Now I actually found it easier to do the bottoms first and then put the strips around the outside, but you could do it the other way around, depends how you find it. So this is a very quick one I've done. Obviously I've put the foam in the bottom, and then I put the foam around the sides on there and there. And on this one I've cut the foam out where a Velcro strap or your cable ties would go. If you're not going to use the Velcro strap method, then you can leave the foam there, but it just allows whatever you're pushing through the bottom of the frame to sit lower than the foam is. So that's how it goes. So let's assemble this. So you've obviously got your Runcam. Once the foam's in, it is a snug fit, and you may just have to wiggle it in, but that's fitting quite snugly, so that's not coming out. You can see I'm just gripping, well, lightly gripping the sides of the case, not pressing it at all, and that's not coming out. So that's in there. Going to put the top on again, just have to wiggle it on because it is nice and snug fit. And there you can see the lens is back from the front of the mount by about 3mm, if I remember correctly. So we're just going to put some screws in now, so just drop the screws in. Again, just finger tight, you don't have to do these up tight. The holes are made for these 2.4 screws. Just as you start feeling the pressure, that's enough. Okay, just pinch the sides together. The screws aren't tight enough. You'll see movement in the sides of the frame cases, and there you go, that's it. So we're going to put the sun shield on now. So there's 2 holes in the top of the mount. close that one. Oops. Again, the sun shield there is to stop the sun at the when it's high in the sky, getting the flare on the lens. And the last thing to fit on is the anti-ejection slot on the back door. Use the back door. The back door's got a little lump on it, and that goes on the outside, and that prevents the screw from going too far in. So again, you just tighten that up, finger tight, and you can see that fits on there nicely. You've got actually that is the wrong door. Okay, I've picked up the wrong door here. In the in the production kits, the door has a hole in it. Here there is an oblong hole, and that allows you to see the two LEDs inside. So that's my error for picking up an old version of the door, but on the ones you will receive there will be a hole there so you can see both LEDs. Nice big access in the back so you can get your USB lead in there, and basically that is it. That is the armoured casing for the Runcam. Now there's going to be the same type of casings for the Mobius wide angle and the Mobius standard lens. They're in the pipeline, just working on the designs, finalising them. One thing I didn't mention is when I put the foam in the top, I cut the foam away from this section here. So this is obviously where the heatsink is, and there's no point in having foam across there. So I just cut the foam out, but that's all quite self-explanatory. It just allows a little bit more air movement through there. Nice big area around the lens that keeps the case out of the view of the lens, and also it assists you putting the lens cap on. The lens cap, if you use the Runcam one, if you push it all the way on, you would struggle getting it off. They do fit on quite tight, and obviously you're restricted in fingers. You can't get your fingers in there, so it makes it difficult. But obviously the sun shield is giving you protection. If you want to put a temporary fixing or something over there, you could make a piece of cardboard, a bit of black tape, and just tape over, and that would protect your lens, which would be a lot easier than putting on the plastic lens that comes with the camera, because you would struggle getting it off. Let's see what that weighs all up with the Runcam in there. So all up 66.14. That's 66.14. So I just quickly take the Runcam out now, and we'll just weigh the parts separately. So the Mobius ones will follow, but it's just getting round to tweaking the design. So that's the 4 screws. So the Runcam with no SD card in is coming in at 40.6, and then the case with the 4 screws for the case, that is coming in at 25.55, then all up 66.15, just the case 25.57, and obviously the foam that you get does weigh something, but I mean that's a big sheet and you'll be cutting most of that away, so that's 1.6. So that's it. I would welcome any feedback. as I would do on any of my products. But that's it. That's a very quick introduction to. I haven't named it yet. When it gets in the store, I will give it a name. I've been racking my brains to come up with a name, but you know, I think it's a good product to give your FPV camera some durability. And remember, there's a way to tether this case to the actual frame, so you should never lose it. And the back door, that's done up a little bit tight, will swing up out the way, so you can get your SD card in and out without taking the camera out the case. So I think there's really, depending how you mount it, if you're going to be mounting it on Velcro and tethering, once it's in the case you can take it from model to model quite easily. But it is really designed around the ZMR to slip up and down, so the screws in the top of the ZMR slip in, but you can use it on anything and the others will follow. So that is, for now, me signing out, but I'm going to do another video straight after this one about the ZMR 250 stronger arm. So stay tuned and have a look at that. This is Andy signing out. Happy flying.